Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down the big topics. Today, we're tackling the massive surge in cybercrime as we look towards 2025. We're going to break down the latest threat reports to show you just how much the game has changed.
Okay, let's just dive right in with a really powerful idea that kind of reframes how we have to think about modern hacking. Security experts have a new saying, and it's this: adversaries aren't breaking in anymore, they're just logging in. It's less about smashing down digital doors and more about just having the right key.
So, 2025. Wow, it has been a record-breaking year for all the wrong reasons. Let's really look at the numbers to get a sense of the sheer scale of the problem we're facing.
Okay, so check this out. We've seen a 34% jump in ransomware attacks in just 1 year. That is a massive 1/3 increase, and believe me, it really sets the stage for all the other trends we're about to cover.
And you might be asking, where are these attacks focused? Well, a full quarter of the world's cyber attack victims are right here in the United States. It's kind of a perfect storm, you know? It's got the wealth, the high dependency on digital systems, and just a ton of high-value targets, making it the #1 focus by a huge margin.
So this huge surge leads us directly to the #1 threat facing businesses and public services today, and that is ransomware. It's not just a crime anymore, it's a full-blown destructive industry.
And here's where it gets really alarming. Look at where these attacks are aimed. Literally half of all ransomware attacks now target critical infrastructure. We're talking manufacturing, healthcare, energy, transportation, the very services that are the backbone of our daily lives. And this is the crucial point, right? This isn't just about data or money. These attacks have dangerous, real-world consequences. When a hospital's systems get frozen, medical care gets delayed. When a city's transit system gets hit, the whole place grinds to a halt. Public safety is directly on the line.
But here's where the story takes a really unexpected turn. The total amount of money actually being paid to these criminals? It's going down. More and more organizations are just refusing to pay. They're choosing to restore from their backups and to fight back.
But that creates this strange paradox. Because fewer victims are paying, the attackers have completely changed their strategy. They've shifted to what they call big game hunting. They're ignoring the smaller fish and are focusing exclusively on massive organizations that can afford huge payouts. And the result? The average payment for those who do give in has absolutely skyrocketed to $2 million.
And to maximize that pressure, criminals have standardized this really nasty tactic. See, it's not enough to just lock your files anymore. First, they steal a copy of all your data, and then they threaten to publish your most sensitive secrets online. So they hit you twice, making that decision not to pay that much harder.
All right, let's shift gears a bit. We're going to explore how attackers are using some seriously cutting-edge technology to go after the weakest link in any defense, which, is us, people. And they're doing it in ways that challenge our very perception of reality. I mean, this quote from security researchers just captures the whole challenge perfectly. With the rise of AI-generated deepfakes, the very idea of digital trust, it's just being completely eroded. And this is not science fiction. This is a breakdown of a real AI heist that's already happening. Just imagine for a second, you get a video call. It looks like your boss, it sounds exactly like your boss, but it's a perfect AI clone. And they're telling you to make an urgent wire transfer for a secret deal. This is the level of deception we are now facing.
So beyond just financial crime, there's a whole shadow war being fought. This one isn't about ransom, it's about espionage and control, and it's being waged by nations through the very software and partners we are supposed to trust every day.
To really get the difference, think of it this way. A direct attack is like picking a single lock on a single door. A supply chain attack, on the other hand, that's like getting a master key that can silently unlock hundreds or even thousands of doors all at once. It's just so much more efficient for the attackers.
And a recent real-world example shows just how devastating this can be. The attackers didn't hit 700 different companies. No, they hit just one, a trusted sales app. But by breaching that single point of trust, they got access to the data of all of its customers, creating this massive cascading effect.
The geopolitical landscape of all these threats is really complex. We're not dealing with a monolith here. Different nation-states have very different strategic goals, from China's focus on economic espionage to Russia's disruptive campaigns, and even North Korea's state-sponsored heists just to fund its regime.
So you've got AI, you've got state actors, you have sophisticated criminals, all in the mix. These threats are evolving so incredibly fast. So the logical question is, what's next? What can we expect heading into 2026?
Well, the trends we've seen this year are all pointing in one direction, toward an even more complex, more automated, and frankly, more dangerous digital environment right on the horizon. Three major concerns really stand out for the near future. First, you've got autonomous AI hackers that can find and exploit vulnerabilities at machine speed. Second, a shift towards purely destructive attacks, where the goal isn't money, it's just sabotage. And finally, this quiet threat called harvest now, decrypt later. This is where countries are stealing huge amounts of encrypted data, stockpiling it, and just betting that future quantum computers will be able to break it all open and unlock all of today's secrets.
So we'll leave you with this final, crucial question to think about. As AI continues to blur the lines between what's authentic and what's artificial, figuring out how we establish trust and verify reality, well, that may be the single defining challenge of our digital future.